not where I expected to be today. Good morning, everybody. It's gonna be another hot one, so trying to get some stuff done early this morning. Probably not the best use of air-conditioned jobs, but we are going to bush hog first thing this morning, and then we'll back the planter out of the building over at the other farm. Try to clean it off a little bit. Got a little bit of seed in it. We're going to plant that out, and I don't know what else we're going to get into. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, we're in the Hagie now. Brought one down. The neighbor used it, and we're going to demo it a while. We sprayed one tank with it yesterday. So we're going to get started here this morning, spraying another tank. See how it goes. Put it on fungicide. Pretty nice machine. It's 120 foot booms, so about like the other ones we've been running. It's got John Deere monitor. A little bit different. I'm not familiar with it. Just trying to get it figured out. And there's the monitor that drives everything, or for the chassis part of it. It's pretty simple. So we got to go up the road a little ways, so we got her filled up, and we'll head up and see how she does. Okay, I'll say it's got a good radio. You get an AM station, pretty good. That's about a first for this new equipment. Seems like it don't pick up AM station worth a darn. But we're getting ready to go up the road. We've got road mode. It'll only run about 20 mile an hour with a loaded tank. And I don't know, I think you might be able to program it or change it. But that's all faster it'll go. It's got good visibility. A little better than any front mounts I've been in, really. Like that, it's got the booms fold up nice. The nozzles are down, pointed down, so my drops would work on it fine. But pretty nice sprayer. There's all the controls, or just for the pump, that kind of stuff. And this is it's got hydrostatic, of course, and you can get it going and you bump it up here on the side. Preset speeds in here. And this is the boom, or the solution pump, or the on and off. And this is the I think auto steer, and this is up and down, and the boom's height. So we'll take it up the road and see how it drives. Yesterday going up the road, it drove better than I thought. This suspension, because this suspension really nice. You can see how it rocks there when you stop. It's air ride, and I'd say about as good as anything I've been in so far. And I thought it might be a little bit squirrely on the road, but it kind of surprised me. It seems pretty stable. But like I say, you only run 20 mile an hour. Now I got to bump it up here, and then you'll start speeding it up. It's got a decelerator down here for when you're spraying. You come to the end, and you hit that, and it'll slow down to whatever you have it preset. I got it set up to 7 mile an hour, I think. So that's what it slows down to, which makes it pretty nice. It's got 4-wheel steer, and that is really hard to get used to. Looks to me like it needs to be slowed down a little bit, the steering, because you turn the wheel now not very much and it reacts. The Rogator, I know, it was slow about reacting, and that's what this needs to be, slower reacting in Winston 4-wheel steer. So I'll show you when we get in the field how jumpy it is. So we'll get up here, we'll shoot some more video when we get up here. Okay, we're in the field, got it unfolding, spraying, and I'm following my old tracks from last time, so I don't make any new tracks. So you can see when the steer, I just turn a little bit and it turns right back around there. That 4-wheel steer is really nice. It's got lights down there when the boom on and it goes off when they're all spraying, and then they come on if one of them shuts off. It got a master light there in the center showing on spraying. Got the NORAC auto boom height. Works pretty good. Once in a while, this is got some low spots up in this field. You slow up a little bit, 10 mile an hour or so, and it worked pretty good. You get a little faster, and it might go in the ground or on top of the beans a little. So we're running 14 right here now. See that boom go up now? I'll slow down a little bit. And this other one will do the same thing. Then it'll drop down. I'm running about 24 inches what I got set at, so it's sensing either if it's a bare ground, it'll sense that, or whatever's the closest to it, like the crop is now. Here's this river bottom, so you can see the lower plateau here kind of. We'll drop down in it, we'll see what the booms do here, you'll see how they go up and down. That boom stayed right there pretty good, and this one's down a little bit over here. It's quiet. It got a really nice cab, a big cab, a little bit bigger than the rest of them, I guess. It might be a little bigger, a little deeper than my Miller. Nice seat, air ride seat, of course, everything. I'll get up here at the end, I'll show you how the decelerator works. Now I'm running 12 mile an hour, then I hit the decelerator here, down here by my foot. Then it'll slow you right down. Now the steering kicks in, the four-wheel steer. You don't turn it very much because it'll turn you right around. Try and follow my old tracks. Get lined up or whatever, well then you can let go of the decelerator and we're back to speed, whatever we were. That's just telling that the rodeo or the booms are kicking on. So I sprayed this with the, I believe the Oxbow, so I'm 120 foot. So that's why we're following the same tracks. If I had my Miller, I'd have to run another set of tracks, because I'm only 100 feet with it. Got a camera in the screen, but I don't know how to turn it on. I think it's up here. I don't know. Both screens. If you back up, it comes on. It'd be nice if I had my eye cams in here and then my separate screen. That really makes it nice. You can see what behind you and around. But this does have camera when you back up. I'll try to show you what the auto steer or the four-wheel steer does up here. At the end, I'll show you where I sprayed the other sprayer. It was two-wheel steer, so you got 4 sets of tracks on the end when you turn. If you can see down there, maybe hard to see, but because it made a big sweeping turn. But you got 4 sets of tracks where this rear steer, the back wheel steer, are run right in the front tracks. So you've got one set of tracks on each side there. As long as that steering works, four-wheel steer works, it'd be nice. I don't know if they have much problem with it or not. Must be work pretty good evidently. I'll show you when I fold it up here. I hold these 2 buttons here and it'll raise it up to where it needs to go, clear up. Then it'll start folding the wings in. They come in, then it starts folding the back. The other 2 wings. You can kind of see in the mirror there, there's a cradle back here, and it comes into that cradle, and it will drop down in it, and we're done. The engine slows down, we're ready to go. And this I forgot to say, but this has the engine management on, so it just idles. You never have to touch the throttle. It just idles until it's needing to do something, and it'll speed up. Okay, we're done spraying here today with this Hagie. I think I'm gonna wash it off, flush it out some. And neighbor's gonna try it. He's gonna spray the same things I am, so I'm not gonna flush it real good, but I'm gonna hose it off good. And he's gonna get it and try it. And overall, I think it's a nice machine. Rides real good, best ride I've been in. Few little things I don't like, but most overall, it's really a nice machine. You know, I still like the front boom, and this has got the front boom. So in the Oxbow, I guess the other ones, the Miller, I haven't tried a new Miller, but I haven't seen any of them around. There's only one dealer in the state that sells them, and they didn't have anything. And I would like to look at one sometime. see how much they've changed. But if we're getting ready to get in the market, and I'm not saying we're not in the market, but I'd like to have one, but see if Brian's got any money. Maybe I can talk him into buying me something for Christmas present, but I doubt it. But overall, it's a nice sprayer, and I'd like to thank Blake, the salesman from, I think it's caning or coing caning equipment. John Deere dealer at Urbana, and they're big up in the western part of the state in Indiana, I think. I'd like to thank them for bringing it down and letting us try it out. And we'll see what happens and go from there.
I know one thing Dad was kind of wanting to hear was how everybody else is getting along with Hagie's. He's kind of concerned how things maybe changed since them and John Deere had their merger. So if you got a Hagie, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinion, especially if you were a Hagie customer before and after, maybe how things have changed and if it's better or worse. Alright, Dad, he called. He needs a ride, so I'm gonna go pick him up. He took the front end loader over to their farm to move some gravel around. So we'll pick him up. And I think we're gonna go find George and eat some lunch. Just waiting on Dad to get over here in the loader. So we're gonna pick up George. If you don't follow us on social media, you might not be aware, but George actually wrecked a motorcycle last week. So it's the first time I've seen him since it happened. But he said he feels better, so we're going to lunch. Flipping over a motorcycle ain't no excuse to miss lunch now. But now we call him Crash Gordon.
Gonna get you a motorcycle?
Am I? I thought I'd get two of them.
Gonna get two of them?
One to stone and one to cover it up.
Maybe I thought maybe you'd get trike.
That'd be the only thing I'd ever get.
Back to mowing. Dad over here putting on more fungicide. Just about done with fungicide on soybeans. What he was doing first was kind of the earlier plant stuff, and he's kind of working his way towards some of the later planted beans, but we're just about done spraying finally. Seems like he's been in that thing all year. Yeah, let's get the planter out. I haven't done that in like a month. Now, like I said, there's some seed in this thing still, but one of the main reasons I'm getting this out, see all that mud caked on this thing? If I run this thing over a couple acres, that's going to be a lot easier to clean up, because I do need to pressure wash this thing. Did you miss me? It's okay, I'm here for you. I almost forgot how comfortable this thing was. It's nice. This bean field to my left here, very borderline on doing some replanting in it from slug damage. I think they're going to be okay. I mean, I was planting at 160,000. They say if your stance between 100 and 120, you're going to be fine. But there's definitely some thin spots in that field. It'll be interesting to see if there's a huge yield drag there or not. Say it was getting pretty borderline on whether or not to replant parts of that field or not, but it didn't happen, so we'll be all right. Yep, we're doing it. Planting beans on July 29th. Like I said, we're not planting a lot of beans. We're just clearing out what's in the units, cleaning that off a little bit, and then probably just put this thing up and wash it a different day. I don't feel like washing it today's why. Now the odds of these beans making anything pretty slim. I mean, I don't. It definitely depends on the frost, but they're probably not going to make anything. I don't expect to get to harvest these or anything like that. Probably just going to be deer food. But they're in the planter, can't take them back, so just might as well get rid of them. One thing that is kind of nice, I don't care what our population is, so that monitor's beeping, we're running out of seed, and it's okay. Don't care. And I'm driving this thing back to the sheds. Man, you can really see the gravelly spots in the field. It's weird to say this, but we could definitely use a drop of rain. We haven't had any for a week, which isn't that long, but it's been pretty hot for the past week. And these crops have never been under any kind of stress, so the root system's really not that deep. So let's get rain tonight, and I hope we get it. We definitely need it. And at least clean the wheels off. Gauge wheels. Units are still filthy. A little bit better though, so I'll probably get this cleaned up either tomorrow or sometime later this week. Want to have it cleaned up for the field day. Probably have all of our ag code equipment that we own over there for that field days. So can't take a dirty tractor over there. And we got to unhook that planter. All right, guys, that's probably it for this video. Big Mike just got here, and we're gonna do some work for after hours. So if you haven't checked that channel out, check it out. We're putting a transmission in the Camaro right now, and we're on part 2 of that. Hopefully we'll have this thing running here, well, probably a couple days, but we'll see.